are doing a review and demo of the new beauty sponges released by Real Techniques. I have shown these in my last few videos, and I've sort of dropped little bits of information in those videos as far as my thoughts on them. I have been using them pretty consistently even after those videos, and I really feel like I'm in a good place to give you my opinion, my honest review, not biased. I paid for these myself. I bought them myself. Been using them. I've been testing them, and today I'm going to show you how I use the pink one and the purple one for foundation, concealer, also setting the foundation. I'm also going to show you how to use the smaller one for contouring and give you some beauty tips along the way. So let's first get into the demo, and then towards the end I will give you my official thoughts. So if you want to see how to do the whole makeup routine, well, foundation, concealer, then stay tuned. Alright, so I have nothing on my face. I just have my Geek Skin Balancing Oil, which I have been loving. It works so well to keep my skin hydrated and comfortable and youthful looking with that nice glow that beauty oils give without making my skin look too greasy. So I do normally use a primer. I'm going to skip it because I want to see how my skin reacts to not using the primer, because my skin has been quite dry. Has been kind of peeling right around like the larger pore areas here and on my chin. So I'm going to see how my skin goes without this. This is the Hangover RX, which is the normal primer that I have been loving and using for a month straight. I love it. It's a really good primer. So I will list it down below just in case you're curious as to what primer I'm going to use. The foundation, is it any surprise? I'm using my stick foundation from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I wear the shade beige. I have a review on it. I will link it here so that you can check that out if you're interested. So I have dampened both of my sponges. I have the pink one and I also have the purple one. They're both damp, and I wrap them in a piece of paper towel, get all the excess water out, and it should be just lightly damp. It should not be sopping wet of water. You shouldn't have any water dripping because it defeats the purpose of the sponge. And I normally do use the beauty blender. This is just my regular beauty blender that's dirty and it's dry. So I've been accustomed to the beauty blender, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed these so far. So for foundation, I'm just going to go ahead and take the Anastasia one. I feel like I have a hair or something on my face. I'm going to just kind of scribble this on like so. And then what I like to do is take the flat side of the sponge and start just pouncing the sponge over the skin. And as you can see, it instantly just blended out everything in my chin. So this foundation works really well, blends out very easily, but I think what really helps is the sponge. I get the same thing with the beauty blender, but it is more expensive, the beauty blender, than these. I think this one itself was like maybe $4 or $5, maybe at the most $6 for this little pink one. And I'm going to just lightly tap right here because I do have a cystic bump, which I never get on my jawline, and it hurts. So I'm just going to lightly tap over that just to kind of reduce that redness. And honestly, I do feel like using beauty sponges like this for foundation and for beauty products, I feel like it's made a difference in the way my makeup looks and how it goes on. And I used to not use sponges for makeup until I just started testing it out, and I really enjoy sponges. Like, I can't not have beauty sponges in my beauty tool arsenal that I have. So as you can see, that really worked beautifully with the foundation, and it blended everything in nicely. I do love the flat side for that. Now, it does have an hourglass shape, which I really don't see the point of that because there's really no use that I can think of to use like this center part. It has a nice little grip. You can hold it like so and just sort of pounce the foundation on if that's what you're into. I do like the other side as well because it has another flat sort of angle cut that you can use under the eyes. You can use that flat side to do baking if you have, like for me, I get oily, so I like to put a little extra translucent powder there, or my chin, over my lids to set my concealer. And you can also use the other side that's more rounded under the eye. So this one, I do think it's very versatile. And also another thing that you could do with this flat side on the smaller end is also apply your contour or blend it out. You can use the other flat side, the larger one, to add some blush, highlight. You can use the sides of it to highlight. There's so much that you can do with this one beauty sponge. So it's not essential to have the other purple ones, but I do like them and I had to try them both. So I'm going to use the purple one for my concealer. This one has a point tip, and then it also has that flat side that works well for doing like baking as well. So I have used these purple sponges for my normal liquid concealers, the Urban Decay and the Better Skin from Maybelline. Works great. I've also used it to blend out stick concealers, which tend to be a little bit thicker than ones that come with an applicator, like a doe foot applicator, and it works great. So I think it works with any concealer regardless of the consistency. I think today I might go in with the Kick-Ass concealer from Soap & Glory. I use the shade Light, and this is also something that I picked up at Ulta. So I'm just going to kind of scribble some of this on, and then a little bit on my lids to kind of even everything out, like so. This is actually a really creamy concealer, by the way, and I may do a review on it. I'm not really sure. I'm still kind of on the fence as far as coverage-wise, but again, it's damp, and I'm going to just go in with the tip of the sponge and just pounce this in back and forth to distribute the product and also blend it out very well and evenly under the eye area. And instantly it just completely blends it in. The same thing over the lid. Works great. And you can also use that point to go around the nose if you need to. And just because I'm using this for concealer doesn't mean that you have to use it that way as well. You can use a small little one for contouring because it has multiple angles that really help apply product and blend it out very well. Alright, so foundation and concealer done, blended. Everything looks very seamless now. I do need to set it. And I have been using the Cinema Secrets Pro Cosmetics Ultra Lucent Setting Powder. This is also another product that you can find at Sephora. Now, I do have a lot in the cap, so I'm going to just tap some excess out because it's not necessary to use that much. I know it sounds kind of loud, but I have just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is start with the under eye area. I do like to take that pointed side of the purple sponge, dip it into the translucent powder, and then look upwards and then just kind of set that. Take a little bit more and go over my eyelids to set the concealer before applying eyeshadow to prevent creasing. Now to do the rest of my face, what I do is take a little bit of the translucent powder onto the sponge, press it into the cap. You can do it on the back of your hand if you prefer, but I'm just going to kind of lightly push it on the areas that I normally get oily. So just lightly doing this is going to set the foundation without moving too much of the foundation that I've already applied, but it's also going to prevent the cakiness, which I feel like is because of the fact that this sponge is kind of damp. It prevents caking. And the same thing applies to the Beauty Blender. If you use that damp to set your foundation, it prevents that cakey look. And it just mattifies the skin so nicely. And I love this. I'm going to take a little bit more and just sort of push that into the skin. And again, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I am using the larger flat side of the pink sponge. The contour stick, the Anastasia one in the shade Shadow. And it's a little bit kind of on the cooler side. I don't know, I haven't used this a whole heck of a lot. I do like it, but I don't normally like contour. I do the contour / bronze step. But I'm going to go ahead and apply this. So I'm going to just take a feel for where my cheekbones are. And then kind of lightly do just a little bit. This hair out of the way. Going in with the same purple sponge, the damp side. You can also use like that little angled blunt cut, but I'm going to use the pointed side and just sort of work that into the skin by just pouncing again to blend and distribute without removing the product that I just applied. The lightest contour shade in the sticks, so it's made for more fair skin, which I like because you can't see, but just a subtle kind of shadow, which is what I like. I don't like to have that harsh, like really structured contour. It's not my personal style. And if you like it like that, it's totally fine. It's just for me, I don't do it like that too often. Every now and again, playing around with makeup, sure, but on a regular everyday basis, I won't. Might as well go all the way, right? And that is how you can use this purple one for contour. Now, you can also use these to do the baking method or the cooking technique. I don't tend to do that a whole lot, but if you wanted to, you would just take the flat side of it with a lot of translucent powder and just pack it on and let it sit for a few minutes, then dust it away with some fluffy powder brush. You can also use some under the jawline here, or under your contour, I should say, to clean up any sort of harsh lines that you may have. If you went a little further down with your bronzer and your contour, you can use that same technique, but just a little lower. And that's another option for this beauty sponge. Alright guys, so all of my makeup is done. I've completed my entire face. And I really, really enjoy these beauty sponges. I do think that they work just as good as the Beauty Blender. I know I've seen videos where people are trying to compare other sponges that are more affordable to the actual Beauty Blender and say that nothing compares. But there are other alternatives to the Beauty Blender that work just as good. I've tried several different ones. The Real Techniques, the original orange one, the Miracle Complexion, the first one that they ever came out with, that one is really good. I've also tried one from Earth Therapeutics. It's pretty similar. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, I have the original Beauty Blender, and I also have the Beauty Blender, the blusher that I use for concealer, and I also use for contour and stuff. I have the Micro Minis. Those are in my bathroom, and again, I've tried plenty of the Beauty Blender products to know and tell you guys that these are actually very comparable. Not everybody wants to shell out 20 bucks for a freaking sponge. I, for the longest time, didn't, until I just finally did it because I kept hearing about it, and I was like, I'm so sick of hearing about how this Beauty Blender is such a game changer. So I tried it, and I fell in love with it, but I've also tried these and fell in love with these as well. And these are really great alternatives. They feel really soft and squishy. More so, like, after they've been dampened. When they are completely dry, they're smaller, and they're just a little bit more, I don't want to say rough because it's not rough at all. They're just a little bit more stiff. That's the word, stiff. It's a little bit more stiff, whereas when they're damp and kind of moist, I hate the word moist. Oh my God. These are just squishier. The video is getting really weird right now. But you get what I'm saying. You feel me, right? Stiff, squishy. I love them. They are very affordable. I don't think any of them really went over the $5 price point. The purple ones, they come in a pack of 2. This is the packaging, the 2 Miracle Mini Eraser Sponges. And the Real Techniques, if you're not familiar with the Real Techniques brand, they are, it's a brand created by Sam and Nick, also known as the Pixie Woo sisters here on YouTube. And I've seen a couple of their videos. They're phenomenal. They're really, really good at makeup. And you can find their stuff at Ulta. They also make brushes as well. And then this is the packaging. It's pink for the pink sponge, and this one is called the Miracle Sculpting Sponge. So really inexpensive, available online, available at Ulta stores, ulta.com. I will link them down below for you as well if you're interested in ordering them. So I hope that you found this video helpful and that you enjoyed watching my review and demo of these sponges. If you've tried them, please share in the comment section your feedback and let me know what you think about them. And if you are going to purchase them, also let me know. I'm just curious to see who is going to buy them because these are fairly new. So anyways, thank you so much for spending some of your day with me today. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And if you'd like to tune in to my life off camera, you can definitely follow me on social media, and it's all listed in the description box. Have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.